everyone, I'm Colleen with Awaken Catholic, and this is Awaken the Saint. While it's not one of the 4 cardinal virtues, obedience is often considered a great quality in its own right. To be obedient means to set aside our own desires and carry out the will of someone we consider worthy of our respect. But to have obedience doesn't always mean blindly following every order we're given, and the saint we're talking about today, Saint Casimir, is a great example of this. Born in 1458, Saint Casimir was the second son of King Casimir IV of Poland. As you might be able to guess from the fact that he inherited the king's name, Casimir's father had some pretty big expectations for him. The king wanted all of his sons to be worthy of their own thrones and ensured that Casimir, along with his brothers, was taught by the best of the best. Their tutor, John Dugage, was both knowledgeable and pious, and Casimir was very fond of him. During his childhood and early teen years, he inherited from the scholar not just depth of knowledge, but a deep devotion to God. As a young man, he spent many hours in prayer each day, and in spite of his kingly lineage, he did everything he could to live humbly, even sleeping on the floor. Casimir was friendly and personable with everyone he knew, but he was especially considerate of the poor, giving away everything he owned for their benefit and persuading his father to help them as often as he could. By the time he was almost 15, the young saint already had a reputation. Most people thought well of him, including his father. In fact, King Casimir saw fit to send him on an expedition to take control of Hungary. While young Casimir set out as his father commanded, he had no taste for violence, and leading an army into battle was just about the last thing he wanted to do. Encouraged by both his officers and Pope Sixtus IV, who announced his disapproval of the conflict, Casimir refused to take up the offensive. This was upsetting to his father, who commanded that his son be confined to a castle away from home. The king probably hoped that this treatment would eventually convince his son to be cooperative, but Casimir had made up his mind, and while he still treated his father with respect, he refused outright to take part in war. During his exile, Casimir's faith only grew. When his father tried to have him married to the daughter of the Austrian king, he declined, wanting to remain celibate. He eventually took charge of Poland, but it didn't last long. He soon fell ill with tuberculosis. Though his father rushed back to his side, the king could do little to help his ailing son. Casimir died at just 25 and was buried with a copy of his favorite hymn, Daily, Daily, Sing to Mary, which was later dubbed the Hymn of Saint Casimir in his honor. Nobody likes making hard decisions, and those decisions can get even harder when someone we care about is asking us to do something for them. We all want to be helpful, especially toward our parents, like the 4th commandment instructs us, right? Casimir wanted to do the will of his earthly father, but with some difficulty realized that in doing so, he would be going against the will of his Father in heaven. Sometimes we're called to be discerning, the way he was. May we, like Saint Casimir, exercise both obedience and good judgment. Saint Casimir, pray for us.